So, recently we've been exploring beyond Lego sets and checking out an alternative toy construction company. An alternative company with a very questionable name. Yeah, you could say, do you want to come play with my Legos? Without too much trouble.
Except for the sticklers who insist you should say, come play with my Lego sets.
Nerds! But imagine the absolute embarrassing misunderstanding you could end up with if you said instead, do you want to come play with my FunWholes?
Well, that escalated quickly.
What? It's the company name! Embarrassing company name aside, they produce original Lego-like models of very good quality. Aside from their weird minifigs, plus the sets themselves aren't perfect as your review of the Antique Store showed. You're right, that one has its issues. But at the end of the day, that Antique Store, which FunWhole very kindly sent us to review, is a very detailed and beautiful building both inside and out, built in the same style as Lego's Modular building series, with removable floors and all. So then I started to wonder, how seamlessly could the Antique Store blend in with the street of Lego modulars?
I'd say it should be pretty easy since both FunWhole's Antique Store and most of Lego's modulars are built on a 32x32 footprint.
True, and yet it's not that ideal of a fit. Well, the obvious issue is that Lego's modulars are designed to fit right next to each other, and that's not the case for the Antique Store. It is on one side, and you do need an alleyway to fit the big battery pack on the other, but I feel little alleyways add interest to your layout. So no, for me, the main issue is the pavement being on slightly different levels. Of course! Lego use base plates for the base, while FunWhole use a bunch of regular plates. And what's the problem with that? The problem is, McCluck, that base plates are slightly thinner than plates, meaning the Antique Store's pavement is slightly raised next to Lego buildings. Kinda like in real life then. I don't see a problem. Well, you obviously haven't pushed a pram in town or used a wheelchair. I'd like my model world to be a better version of the real one, and thankfully, there's a solution for that.
Put the Antique Store on a base plate instead of plates?
Well, that could be the answer, maybe for a different model, but here, as we showed in our review, there's a couple of technique pieces that make up the base. For unknown reasons. Whether there's a reason for it or not is immaterial. They're there, and they're stopping us from using a base plate instead of plates. So we need an alternative solution, and if you know the Lego Mod community, you may already be aware of it. MILS.
The what now?
MILS. It stands for Modular Integrated Landscaping System. Lego fans love their acronyms. They sure do, but to cut a long story short, when applying that concept to Lego modulars, you remove the base plate and replace it with a chunkier base. There are many different ways of doing this, and there's no right or wrong way really. You start with a base made up of 4 16x16 plates. Then, for my own version, I use the bricks with that distinctive brick and mortar effect along the edges, so it looks nice whether it's connected to other buildings or not.
What's with those arches?
I thought it would be fun to simulate some kind of sewage system.
Interesting.
After that, I add some bricks on the inside to strengthen the lot and finish off with more 16x16 plates. And since the FunWhole building is already built on top of plates, exactly, Mouse, all you need to do is remove the top layer from my MILS base and attach the Antique Store directly on top of the rest. It's actually much easier to do than an actual Lego set, because for those, you need to remove all the parts from that base plate and put it onto the MILS. So once that's done, you can seamlessly place the Antique Store next to other Lego modulars, which were modified in the same way. And as you can see, both companies' products really look great next to each other. Hold on. You've just mixed and matched FunWhole pieces with Lego ones in the same model? Doesn't that break some kind of law or ethics or something? McCluck, purists will have stopped watching this video long ago. It turns out pieces from both companies can connect perfectly together, and there's really no other way, frankly, as you can't yet get FunWhole parts. Oh, do grow up, McCluck. Make me. Boys? Anyway, you can't yet get FunWhole parts separately, like you can with Lego's online pick-a-brick store.
That's a shame.
It is, I agree. I'd love to get my hands on a bunch of their specialized pieces that let electric cables through. Imagine the mocks you could build with those. Exactly. Anyway, despite some flaws, The quality of this antique store building, its style and design is such that it would be silly not to find a way to include it within a LEGO City collection, if you're a fan of such buildings. Plus, it's a heck of a lot cheaper to boot, and comes with its own lighting kit.
Kinda makes you wish LEGO had its own built-in lighting kit.
That would certainly be a great outcome, right? Increased positive competition in this field could give us, consumers, more of what we love. And if it ends up convincing LEGO to do away with the stickers and introduce a lighting system for the same price or less, how can that be a bad thing?
I don't see that happening.
Not yet. I agree. I think FunWhole's still a bit too small to have such an impact.
Your FunWhole's a bit too small, eh?
Seriously? Maybe they could start by changing their name. You know, to stop McCluck from making puerile innuendos all the time.
Never gonna happen.
Well, what do you think? Would you consider mixing LEGO buildings with those from this or other companies?
Would you use your LEGO parts to alter sets made by the competition? Mixing and matching different companies' pieces, creating a Frankenstein product?
Don't be so snobbish, McCluck. But anyway, I'll leave a link to FunWhole's website in the description if you're interested.
And do look out for available promotions. FunWhole often offer between 10 to 25% off their sets, making attractively priced models even more affordable.
And if the antique store is not your cup of tea, FunWhole aren't limiting the release of these modular building sets to one a year like LEGO do.
Indeed, the Book Cafe building came out a few months ago, and a very 80s style skate shop and the balcony theater have just been released. Oh, will you be reviewing those?
There's only so many hours in a day, Gigi, so I think our focus should be on their steampunk collection.
What about that new cyberpunk neon city?
Oh yeah, definitely that one too. But in the meantime, let us know what you think of our idea to seamlessly blend FunWhole buildings in with LEGO ones, and we'll speak to you again next time.